that when Jesus was promised to come the first time, God gave a whole series of prophecies so that when Jesus did come, you knew he was the Messiah. The town he would be born in, how he would have to flee to Egypt, how he would live in Nazareth, the family line to which he would come, how he would live in poverty even though he was a king, and how he would heal the sick and raise the dead and give the blind their sight. And even though he would do these wonderful things, people would hate him without a cause. And eventually he would be betrayed by one of his best friends and sold for 30 pieces of silver. Look, that's all in there. In the book of Zechariah, 800 years before Jesus was betrayed by Judas for 30 pieces of silver, it specifically says that he would be betrayed for 30 pieces of silver. And that the one who betrayed him would then take the money and throw it down to the potter in the house of the Lord. However would that come true? Throw it down to the potter in the house? The potter doesn't live in the temple. Oh no, but you see, when Judas threw the money down in the temple and said, "I betrayed the innocent blood, I don't want this money," the very men who had paid the blood money said, "Oh, well, we can't take it back. It's dirty money." Well, they were the ones who made it dirty. He said, "We can't put it back into the collection. What can we do with it?" And one of the fellows, I guess, who knew a little bit about real estate said, "You know, there's a piece of land for sale down in the Gehinnom Valley, and it was owned by a potter, and the potter has used up all the clay, and now he's selling the land, and why, they want exactly 30 pieces of silver. We can take this money, buy the land with it, and use that land to bury strangers in." They wouldn't want strangers buried in the Jewish graveyard. And so that's exactly what they did, in exact fulfillment of the prophecy that they knew was there. And so every detail, how he would be executed, and what they would do with his clothing, and how he would be buried, and how he would rise again, it was all detailed hundreds of years before Jesus came. So if Jesus fulfilled all of these prophecies in such exact detail, and then there are another whole set of prophecies in the New Testament concerning his second coming, I think we should take it very seriously. Because so far, every prophecy that should have been fulfilled was fulfilled. Not in some sort of fuzzy way, but literally, exactly how it was to be fulfilled. So when it says that he would be born in Bethlehem, Judah, back in the old Hebrew prophet, Micah chapter 5, verse 2, said that he would be born in Bethlehem, Judah. You know, where Jesus' family came from up in Nazareth in the north, up in Galilee, just over the ridge, there's a little town called Bethlehem. That would have been a very short ride. Would have been a nice little ride for a very pregnant woman, you know. But the Bible was specific. It didn't just say Bethlehem. That could have been Bethlehem, New York, or Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It said Bethlehem, Judah. And that's exactly where Jesus was born. Now, it would be no big surprise that I was born in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. My mother was born there. My grandmother was born there. And it would have been no surprise if Jesus' family lived in Bethlehem. But the fact is that by this time, Joseph was a poor carpenter who worked up in the city of Nazareth, 60 miles away. And in that day, it was like 600 miles away because they had to travel uphill and down dale either by foot or by donkey. And so